Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a story that perfectly captures the strange, complicated, and frankly hilarious relationship that the British media has with Prince Harry, Meghan Sussex, and their children. Because this week, Prince Harry did something so ordinary, so normal, and so completely unremarkable that most people wouldn't think twice about it. He attended a book launch. That's it. No royal crisis, no family feud, no tell-all interview, no documentary, no accusations, no bombshell revelations, no speeches aimed at the royal family, nothing remotely controversial. Prince Harry simply went out to support a friend. That friend was chef, humanitarian, and longtime Sussex friend Josè Andres, who was celebrating the launch of his new cookbook, Spain My Way. And honestly, before we discuss anything else, congratulations to Josè Andres, because unlike some of the people writing these headlines, José was actually accomplishing something worth celebrating. His cookbook is a deeply personal project inspired by his homeland, Spain. José described it perfectly when he wrote, "Spain is where I learned to cook, to eat, and to love. My new cookbook, Spain My Way, is a journey around my homeland, filled with the recipes, people, and stories that made me who I am." Now, that's a beautiful description. It's personal, it's meaningful, it's heartfelt. It's the kind of thing people spend years creating. A cookbook isn't something you throw together over a weekend. It's years of experience, years of memories, years of work, and years of passion brought together into one project. José has spent decades building a reputation as one of the world's most respected chefs. Not only that, but he's also become one of the world's most respected humanitarians. Whenever disaster strikes somewhere in the world, Josè Andres often seems to be among the first people trying to help. His work has earned admiration from millions of people, including Harry and Meghan. The Sussexes have known José for years. They've worked alongside him, they've supported many of the same causes. There's clearly genuine friendship and mutual respect there. So naturally, Harry attended the launch. That's what friends do. Or at least that's what normal people do. But apparently, some sections of the British media looked at this completely ordinary event and decided the actual story wasn't Josè Andres. The actual story wasn't the cookbook. The actual story wasn't friendship. The actual story wasn't support. No. The actual story, according to some outlets, was Princess Lilibet's upcoming birthday. And that's when I nearly fell out of my chair laughing, because the headlines were unbelievable. One headline read, "Prince Harry supports chef at LA book launch just days before Lilibet's birthday." Another read, "Prince Harry pictured on solo night out ahead of Princess Lilibet's birthday." Now, I want everyone to pause for a second and think about what those headlines are actually saying. Harry attended a book launch, Lilibet's birthday is approaching, and what exactly is the connection? Because I'm struggling to find one. The birthday was coming regardless. Harry attending the event didn't cause the birthday. The birthday didn't cause the event. The two things are entirely unrelated, yet somehow they were packaged together as though readers were supposed to view them as connected. And this is exactly why I keep saying that some sections of the media seem incapable of discussing Harry and Meghan normally. Everything becomes a story. Everything becomes an event. Everything becomes a headline, even when nothing unusual has happened. Imagine applying this logic to anyone else. Imagine waking up and reading, "Prince William attends football match just days before Prince Louis's birthday," or "Princess Catherine visits charity ahead of Princess Charlotte's birthday," or "King Charles hosts a reception before Prince George's birthday." Nobody would publish those stories because everybody would immediately recognize how absurd they sound. Parents don't stop living their lives because their child's birthday is a few days away. People still work, people still attend events, people still travel, people still have dinner, people still support friends. Life continues. Yet somehow, Harry attending a friend's book launch becomes newsworthy because Lilibet's birthday is approaching. The logic completely collapses under even the slightest scrutiny. And that's what makes it so funny. The more you think about it, the less sense it makes.
But this is actually part of a much bigger pattern, because if you've been paying attention for the last several years, you'll notice something very interesting. The British media seems permanently locked into what I call Sussex countdown mode. They're always counting down to something. Always. They're counting down to Meghan's next Instagram post. They're counting down to Harry's next appearance. They're counting down to the next photograph. They're counting down to the next anniversary. They're counting down to the next interview. They're counting down to the next family update. It's like some editors wake up every morning asking themselves one question: what are Harry and Meghan doing today? And if the answer is nothing, they simply speculate about what Harry and Meghan might do tomorrow. Think about Meghan's Instagram account for a moment. The obsession is extraordinary. Every time Meghan posts something, dozens of articles appear almost immediately. She posts a picture with Harry. Headlines. She posts a picture with the children. Headlines. She posts flowers. Headlines. She posts food. Headlines. She posts a quote. Headlines. Sometimes it feels like people are analyzing Meghan's Instagram activity with the same intensity that scientists analyze data from space telescopes. A picture of a birthday cake becomes a national discussion. A family photo becomes a week-long debate. A simple caption becomes the subject of endless analysis. And then when Meghan doesn't post, the coverage doesn't stop. Instead, we get stories asking why she hasn't posted, what she might post, when she might post, whether she plans to post, what future posts could mean. At that point, we're no longer talking about journalism. We're talking about anticipation. We're talking about obsession. We're talking about a media ecosystem that seems unable to function without constant Sussex content. And that's why these latest headlines are so revealing, because they accidentally expose just how invested some outlets remain in Harry and Meghan's lives. After all, we're constantly told that Harry and Meghan are irrelevant. How many times have we heard that? Hundreds? Thousands? Every year we're told public interest is fading. Every year we're told nobody cares anymore. Every year we're told people have moved on. And yet somehow, the coverage never stops. That's the contradiction nobody can explain.
Because if Harry and Meghan are truly irrelevant, why are people writing articles about Harry attending a cookbook launch? Why are they monitoring Meghan's Instagram? Why are they counting down to Lilibet's birthday? Why are they speculating about future family photographs? Why are they analyzing every public appearance? The answer is simple: because people are still interested. Now, interest and support are not the same thing. Someone can be interested in a public figure without necessarily being a fan, but interest clearly exists. Otherwise, these stories wouldn't be published. Media companies are businesses. Businesses care about traffic. Businesses care about clicks. Businesses care about revenue. Editors don't assign stories because they're bored. They assign stories because they believe people will read them. That's why every time somebody claims Harry and Meghan don't matter anymore, I simply look at the headlines. The headlines tell a very different story. The headlines reveal that Harry and Meghan remain among the most discussed figures connected to the royal family. Not because I'm saying so, because the media's own behavior proves it. And perhaps the funniest part of all this is that Harry wasn't even doing anything remotely dramatic. He wasn't criticizing anybody, he wasn't making headlines, he wasn't giving interviews, he wasn't releasing a statement, he wasn't responding to critics. He was supporting a friend. That's literally the story. A friend had a major professional milestone, Harry showed up. End of story. Yet somehow, the coverage transformed it into something else. And then there's my favorite phrase from the entire saga: solo night out. Honestly, I laughed when I saw that, because solo night out sounds so dramatic. It sounds mysterious. It sounds suspicious. It sounds like the beginning of a detective novel. But what actually happened? Harry attended a book launch without Meghan. That's it. That's the shocking revelation. A married man attended an event without his wife. Millions of people do that every single day. But solo night out sounds much more exciting than attended friends event, and that's precisely why the phrase was used.
It's designed to create intrigue. It's designed to encourage speculation. It's designed to make ordinary behavior sound unusual, because normal doesn't generate as many clicks as mystery. But reality remains stubbornly boring. Harry attended a book launch. No matter how dramatic the wording becomes, the facts don't change. And honestly, I feel a little bit sorry for José in all this, because this was supposed to be his moment. Imagine spending years creating a cookbook, years writing, years developing recipes, years refining the project, years preparing for publication. Finally, the book launches. Friends come out to support you, people celebrate your achievement. Then the headlines become, Prince Harry supports chef at LA book launch just days before Lilibet's birthday. Poor José. The man writes an entire cookbook about Spain, culture, food, memories, and family, and somehow, some outlets still manage to make the story about Harry's daughter. You really couldn't make this stuff up. But perhaps that's the biggest lesson from all of this. The media often tells us one thing while showing us something completely different. We're told Harry and Meghan don't matter,
But coverage suggests otherwise. We're told nobody cares, but headlines suggest otherwise. We're told public interest is gone, but article after article suggests otherwise. The actions never match the claims. And that's because Harry and Meghan have become one of the most reliable sources of engagement in modern royal coverage. Every appearance generates discussion. Every post generates discussion. Every photograph generates discussion. Every milestone generates discussion. And every birthday generates discussion before it even arrives. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. Lilibet's birthday hasn't happened yet coverage has already started. The countdown has already begun. Speculation is already underway. People are already discussing what might happen. Will Meghan post? Will Harry appear? Will there be a family photograph? Will there be a video? Will there be a message? The anticipation itself has become content. And that's what makes these headlines so revealing, because they expose a media industry that simply cannot stop watching Harry and Meghan, no matter how often some commentators claim otherwise, no matter how many articles declare them irrelevant, no matter how many predictions suggest public interest is disappearing. The behavior tells a different story, a story of constant attention, a story of constant monitoring, a story of constant fascination. Because if Harry attending a cookbook launch becomes a headline linked to a birthday that hasn't even happened yet, then clearly something deeper is going on. The reality is that Harry and Meghan remain central figures in royal coverage. The reality is that their family continues generating enormous interest. The reality is that every move they make is scrutinized, and stories like this expose that truth better than any opinion piece ever could. So, once again, congratulations to Josè Andres on the release of Spain My Way. Congratulations on the achievement. Congratulations on the success. Congratulations on producing something meaningful. And congratulations on discovering what many Sussex supporters have known for years. If Harry attends your event, don't be surprised if the British media somehow finds a way to make the story about Meghan, Archie, Lilibet, Instagram, birthdays, family photos, or whatever Sussex-related topic happens to be trending that week. Because apparently, a cookbook launch can become a birthday countdown, a friendship can become a headline, and a completely normal evening can become a royal media event. Only in the world of royal reporting could that happen. And judging by these headlines, the countdown to Princess Lilibet's birthday is already well underway. Meanwhile, the rest of us can simply appreciate what actually happened. A friend showing up for another friend, a major achievement being celebrated, and a media obsession once again revealing itself in plain sight.